Hi, I'm Daniel, this is East of Awesome, and that here is a 30-second intro timer, so let's try it. My last prints here I made with this Japanese hand pressure thingy, which works, so that's great, but with time it gets a little bit exhausting. You need much pressure, and also it's not that easy to get consistent results. So for a while now I've been keeping an eye out for one of these old washing ringers, and a few days ago one of them actually popped up here in my city. Let's try to clean it up and get it working again and see if we can use it as a makeshift printing press. Let's see. So this is how it arrived here. Quite dirty and not working very smoothly, but this is what we are going to fix. So as you see, this is a really old machine, and what you don't see is how dirty it is. It probably stood there for a really long time, and I guess it was never really cleaned since the day it was used for washing clothes. A real nice mix of dust, dirt, old grease and soap, I guess. So a real good cleaning job is what it takes first. These gears here on the back are, by the way, what's used to transfer the motion from the upper roller that you can see here most of the time to the bottom roller that also spins. And the gears you can see here on the front are what's used to transfer the motion from the handle to the upper roller. As far as possible, I try to disassemble everything and mainly try to get these gears off so I can really clean it and make sure that it runs smoothly afterwards. Next step was sanding down all the wooden areas, and it's funny, I think this machine hasn't been used for a very, very long time, but when sanding the wood in the middle, there was a real remarkable scent of washing soap, so some bits of its original use case had been left. Now, before putting everything back together, it was time to grease the gears. I luckily had some grease for bikes laying around, so this worked very well, and it ran very smoothly. That was now clean and greased up. This part is used to regulate the pressure, and on a typical printing press you have most of the time you have a wheel on each side, and here it is this metal arch in the middle that distributes the pressure to each side, and so it's quite a genius construction, I think. Now it's time to move on to one of my
final parts in every project where I'm using wood is oiling it up and bringing the old wood really back to life after sanding it. So this is linseed oil. It's natural linseed oil, and I have it laying around on outside without being closed, and so it becomes really thick, and it's still natural linseed oil, so I can apply it with my hands and don't have to worry about a rug that could burst into flames. And now it's time to get this cover for these gears, and once again it's a real beautiful machine and beautiful old Art Deco style. I really love this machine as a piece of art by itself. Now finally it's time to set up the printing area, the actual printing area, and I used a real thin pressed wood as a bottom layer, like the one that you find often on the back of picture frames or so. And then I tried different thickness of felts that I had lying around, and just used the printing block with paper to see how much it pressed actually into the paper without any color with the different felts. Finally, I decided to go with the brown one, which was middle thickness, and here I'm cutting this piece to length so it fits there for smaller prints. As this corner here, where I plan to put the press, was originally the place where my printer used to live, I decided to build a little shelf on the bottom of the press here into these feet, and then I can put the printer there and perhaps some other printing supplies. So a little distraction from the actual work on the printing press, but don't worry, I'm going to get even more distracted, so bear with me. But in the end, I must say that I'm quite happy with the way I finally mounted this shelf between these cast iron feet there, without having to fix it anything really. It's just sitting there and works very well. Now I'm preparing the floor for staining the wood, but between the shots, as I already started working with the wood and planned to stain it, I also built this, which is the bottom for the little workbench that I built a while ago and always had lying in the floor there, and just used it on the table if I wanted to use it. So, as you know, one distraction often leads to another. At least that's the way with me. I used some kind of mahogany color, which fits very well the color of the old wood of the press. So now we can finally put everything back together. And I guess 1.5 years after building it, the workbench finally also has its own feet. I'm really excited about this. And wait, what was this video supposed to be about? Yeah, the printing press. So let's put this back together also. And move on to the final step, making a little test print with actual color. So used the printing block from the last project and just made a few quick first test prints. So on a real printing press, the bottom printing surface would be the part that gets moved through the gears if you spin it, but here it's the upper and the bottom roll that are spinning, and that are but they are able to get this thin wood piece and the felt to move along, and so I'm able to print also with this. Alright, it works as a printing press and it definitely looks awesome in my eyes. So far I'm quite happy with it, and the fine tuning and adjusting will take a little bit of time and trial and error, I guess, but as it turns out I was already working on another print. It's going to be this one, and I think in the next few days I can finish carving this piece out, and then I can have a real proper testing print session with it, and let's see what results we are going to be able to get out of this. So stay tuned. See you.